We are all aware that in the past few months, the government has taken certain concrete steps to institutionalize a concrete and robust framework for faster, futuristic, and coordinated development of the two capital regions in the state. We have created two metropolitan region development authorities and two mass rapid transport corporations. We'll be talking about it. Yesterday also, the cabinet had approved and passed certain decisions which would enable operationalizing these institutions. I'll be talking first about the Metropolitan Region Development Authorities at Jammu and Srinagar. The metropolitan areas of Jammu and Kashmir, as well as their population, have grown rapidly over the past few decades. The state government, fully aware and conscious of the challenges in planned development of the capital regions of the state, in December last year, enacted the Jammu and Kashmir Metropolitan Region Development Authorities Act 2018. As a result of it, we had created two Metropolitan Region Development Authorities, the Jammu and Srinagar Metropolitan Development Authorities. These would provide an integrated framework for the planned development of the region in future. These are expected to serve the purposes of coordination, apart from supervising the proper, orderly, and rapid development of the areas in these regions, executing plans, projects, and schemes for such development. Essentially, if you see the Act, there are three important functions that would be served by these authorities. They have been mandated to prepare the infrastructure development plan. These are essentially the supra bodies which will coordinate and supervise at a regional level the initiatives and activities of the development authorities under them. So one would be the infrastructure development plan, which will guide the annual investments in creating infrastructure in the next few years in the form of the annual plans. The thrust of the annual plans would be to reduce the gaps and the deficit in infrastructure, be it road, water supply, sewerage, stormwater drainage, public transportation, including light rails, e-buses, and other services. Besides infrastructure, these bodies, through a consultative process with police, corporations, the deputy commissioners, will formulate a comprehensive urban mobility management plan for the areas under their jurisdiction. These new authorities will also prepare sustainable development management programs, which would involve management of the urban environment, such as increasing the area under green cover, water conservation, wastewater treatment, and so on and so forth. The state government, the State Administrative Council yesterday, on 3rd of July, has approved the areas to be included in the two metropolitan regions, the Srinagar and Jammu metropolitan regions. The areas for these metropolitan region development authorities have been selected on the principles of regional planning and development. This included the economic interdependence of the mother city, whether Jammu or Srinagar, with the adjoining area, the city region, mobility, and geographical contiguity. The planning and development at the regional level will ensure the economic development of the mother city as well as the neighborhood region. Thus, these supra bodies are expected to steer ahead the development projects spanning over multiple jurisdictions and shall also bring in innovation, speed, effectiveness, efficiency, economy, and accountability in the existing framework of development. As per the approval, the Srinagar Metropolitan Region will cover the areas of 9 districts. Srinagar complete, part of the other 8 districts, Badgam, Ganderbal, Bandipora, Baramulla, Pulwama, Nantana, Kulgam, and Shopian, having an approximate area of around 2,500 square kilometers. The existing area of the SDA is around 750 square kilometers. And if we take into account the other urban bodies, they have another 750. So we are adding another 1,000 square kilometers for the purposes of urban planning, development, and regulation. Similarly, the Jammu metropolitan region will cover the areas of 5 districts: Jammu, Kathua, Riyasi, and Udhampur, covering an area of around 2,200 square kilometers. The details I'll be circulating in the press release in the form of a tabular statement. These authorities will also develop satellite townships with adequate provision for housing in the adjoining areas. We may call it Greater Jammu, Greater Srinagar. 1 million square feet IT parks will also be developed in the said satellite towns. To fully operationalize these authorities, the necessary staff, including the subject matter specialists, the domain experts, will be provided by the government. This was about the development authorities. Now, I'll be talking about the mass rapid transit corporations, which we created in February 2019. The 2 mass rapid transit corporations, the Jammu and Srinagar, or the 2 capital cities, were incorporated in February this year. We are aware that Dr. E. Sridharan has already been appointed as a principal advisor to these 2 corporations. These corporations are virtually the extended arms of the metropolitan authorities, earlier constituted, which I talked about, and they are there to supplement the efforts of these authorities in achieving their objectives of proper, orderly, and rapid development of these areas in executing their plans, project, and scheme, especially related to multimodal transport system and mass rapid transport systems. These corporations are taking steps to address the issue of urban mobility in the state in a holistic manner by providing safe, affordable, quick, comfortable, reliable, and sustainable access for the growing number of city residents to jobs, education, recreation, and other needs within our cities by establishment of quality, focused, multimodal public transport systems that are well integrated, and by providing seamless travel across modes, land use transport integration, and introducing intelligent transport systems for the traffic management. Comprehensive mobility plans, the CMPs, for the 2 capital cities earlier prepared by RITES, Rail India Technical and Economic Service, a GOIPSU, are being updated. The 2 MRTCs will take further steps to implement the recommendations. I'll speak a little on the light rail system, which we have decided to introduce and operationalize in the 2 capital cities. As a part of the recommendation of the CMP, the Comprehensive Mobility Plan, the MRTCs have undertaken the implementation of light rail transit systems for the 2 capital cities. The State Administrative Council, in its meeting held on 7th of June this year, approved the elevated corridor option for the 2 light rail transit systems to be operationalized. Mrs. RITES is finalizing the DPRs for the 2 light rail transit systems. It is proposed to have a light rail system, the first in India, which will have a very low footprint, low noise, greater comfort, aesthetic appeal, and will blend with the surrounding landscape. The estimated cost of the first phase of implementation of the light rail project would be about rupees 8,500 crores to be funded jointly through debt, state equity, and central assistance. The proposed corridors for the 2 cities would be as under: the Srinagar in phase 1, there are 2 corridors, HNT junction to Indiranagar, and from Osmanabad to Hazuribagh, a total of 25 kilometers to be covered with 24 stations. In phase 2 of the project, tentatively, the 2 corridors, the Indiranagar would be extended to Papur bus stand and Hazuribagh to airport, making another 17.5 kilometers with 14 stations. Essentially, a station each kilometer. In Jammu, phase 1, again there are 2 corridors, Bantalab to Greater Kailash and Udayawala to Exhibition Ground, which in phase 2 would be extended from Greater Kailash to Badi Brahmana and from Exhibition Ground to Satwari Chowk. and to airport. In the first phase in Jammu, there are a total of 23 kilometers and total 23 stations. In phase 2, another 20 kilometers with 17 stations. In addition, the two MRTCs have also taken preliminary but concrete steps for operationalizing city buses within the jurisdiction of the MRDAs. They are mandated to do so, to set up new standards and benchmarks in public transport. These buses would be IT-enabled, app-based, air-conditioned, smart e-buses with automatic fare collection.